like getting a few nice angles from back here.
Yeah, this doesn't feel good at all. Brakes are f***ing hard.
Yeah, it's not the wheels, I'm jammed or something. That's such a good track.
Oh shit, I need a spotter up here to get me out of where I'm.
We need to get down today, that's for sure.
That's a shit angle, man.
Oh wow, what an adventure.
I can't believe we're actually doing this.
If you haven't seen how we got up here to Ekes Peak, you better get over to Four Wheeling Australia and watch that, because otherwise this will make absolutely no sense to you. But have a look around, because we've still got to get down from this. This is the second tallest elevation on Charlie's property. We're not going out the way we came. We've got another track to get out, so it should be some good wheeling.
When do you reckon we'll get out? What's your prediction?
1:30.
I was going to say 2 o'clock.
After the gruelling task of getting up here, Nick's given a pretty keen estimate on finishing the track back down. Under 6 hours to find a line, clear the track and descend what took us over 3 days to climb. We roll up the swags under a clear morning sky and get ready to leave one of the best camps we've ever had.
We are on the descent coming back down. We've got a little bit of straight out on the same track, which will still be pretty interesting coming down this ridge line. Pretty rocky again, but then we get past Charlie's crack and turning a right, so we're heading back down a completely different direction down another ridge line. Doesn't seem too bad. A couple of outcrops on that as well that we looked at yesterday. A little bit of clearing, but yeah, this should be good fun.
Body's just grabbing the bone.
The very first line out of camp is off camber along the side of the ridge line. And like most of the track, if something goes wrong, there's nothing there to hold you up, and it's a long way to the bottom. Nick starts the drive down with Ronnie following behind. Having a spotter here, or at least another vehicle in front of you, makes the drive a little more comfortable when you can't see much more than the bonnet and a blue sky.
Early morning descent. The climb up was pretty hectic. I was the first to climb up yesterday, so I had no tracks, and Nick would have limited tracks as well, because it takes about 3 to 4 vehicles to put a good impression down. Going down, I can see where the line is, so hopefully it makes it a bit easier.
I'm spotting Nick down until we get to some kind of flat ground. 2 vehicles at a time is much easier to manage than stopping constantly along the way. So once Nick's down onto the flat, we walk back up the hill and get the other cars.
Fair bit more unnerving coming down. Seems to be a lot more tippy moments. Mark, I know he's not going to be too, I mean, he's got to get down regardless, but he's not going to be too keen on getting down with the Defender. He's pretty cautious on the tall vehicle, no sway bars, coil sprung.
When you're sitting in the vehicle or walking up and down the hills all day, you forget about looking up sometimes. But when you stop and take a moment to take everything in, you really appreciate some of the locations that these rigs have gotten us.
Looks like getting a few nice angles from back here.
Yeah, this doesn't feel good at all. That's my rear diff. This is where the coil sprung, in my opinion, has its disadvantages. It's not very often I say that. A stiffer vehicle like a 79 with leafs, it holds rigid. It doesn't have that body roll and that droop of the suspension on your low side. Nice work, Margo. So I think Ronnie and Torbs will come down better.
Alright, bring her in. Yep, bit more. Yeah, now straighten up a little bit more. A little bit more. Alright.
After watching the boys come down, I'm still not feeling any easier about it. I want to at least try and level out some of the high spots on the high side of the track. After almost rolling a couple days ago, I'm always thinking about the Defender being so tall without any sway control. As well as knocking the high side down, we're trying to pack up the low side just as much. With that done, it's time to turn the old girl over and idle down this hill.
It's 8 AM and I'm sweating. Actually, it wasn't too bad. We built up the low side of the track, it felt fine. So, probably a bit worried for nothing. A little bit more to go, maybe halfway, and then we park, and then we're track building again.
Now that we have two vehicles down safely, Torbs is following closely behind me, and with just as much caution too. Being that is the heaviest vehicle up here, and having low-hanging leaf packs, it can be a challenge keeping him on an ideal line. This whole time, Charlie's been as nervous as any of us. You see, if he thinks this track's too dangerous for the general public, then it may never have another vehicle on it. Or, if we can keep a relatively safe line, it may be a welcome addition to the Bendleby tracks. It seems the Defender's got its brake squeal back, which is bloody annoying for all of us. But the main thing is, they're having no problem holding the big thing back. The rocks here are a little unstable. This was a huge hole before filling it with every rock we could find. As the cruiser slowly comes down, Charlie tells us that he's never seen it so calm at the top of Ekes Peak. So we got lucky last night. With no protection from any angle, a windy night would have been unbearable up there.
Back wheel's coming up now. Up! Left. Yep. Keep going, you got it. Up with it.
Scotty's been behind the scenes for most of the trip, but he's still driven every single section, and with ease too. Although, the weight on the roof of the patrol has left him sweating a little more than some of us. The good thing is, I've been spotting a patrol through enough tracks now, I know what it can and can't do, and what line it needs to be on.
Yep, good.
That's such a good track. That's epic.
In and backing in, and we can zig back there fairly readily.
It's back to parking up the vehicles, getting the tools out, and clearing a path.
A lot of dead stuff that we're just leaning on that falling over, so
Makes the job a bit easier.
Right, we're back on.
It's 9:40 in the morning and it's already 29 degrees, which isn't too bad, but when you're road building, yeah, it's pretty quick to exhaust yourself.
Heading through this little chasm at the top, and then we're taking a right hand turn onto some new track.
So we're about to head down the first part that we've cleared up. Nick's in front of me right now. I'm going to follow him closely so I can see what happens at this sort of step corner.
Right. Feels alright. Looks alright.
Still good?
Amazingly, there was about a car width gap through this rock garden, which allowed us to crawl through some huge rocks that would have no hope in moving. Another challenge has been choosing a path to not disturb any thriving trees or shrubs, which has often forced us to take a far riskier or even a longer line.
So this, we've all travelled through this before, so we're turning right off of this descent here. This is the part that we're all a little bit not sure about. Mind you, the view from here is unbelievable.
This is track that we drove straight up yesterday, and that was a challenge in itself. Now we're taking a hard right, which goes across the hill, and with only just enough room between the rocks.
That's heaps better than I thought. Heaps better. I don't know what you're worried about.
Straight on that. That's good.
And that corner was worse than the one I was worried about.
Just get back on Ronnie for a second.
Yeah, I'll just get onto this.
Yeah, you'll be able to probably navigate some of that.
Ronnie's main concern here is the cruiser's turning circle is a lot worse than the patrols, unlike the rest of us who are a bit more concerned about tipping over. Torbs has him on the right line though, hugging the inside edge. From here, he should just be able to idle on down.
You're gonna have to steer. So those traps don't run up that rock.
Slow, because you're going to pop down. Yeah.
And we're not bottoming out, or?
It's a tree.
Yeah, because it's not the wheels, I'm jammed on something.
It's a tree stump just on the leaf. You have to go
Okay.
the back side. You've got to come out pretty wide.
It's alright, it's a Land Cruiser thing. Actually, I think it's denting my door now. Wedged on the tree.
Yeah. Yep. Nice. That's good. That's good. Stay on that. That's perfect.
After a bit of trimming, Ronnie's back on the move. From here we can head back up the top and start bringing the others down. My car is definitely the worst to drive in this terrain, feeling like it's going to tip over on just about every corner. But with a steady drive and a few blokes hanging off the side, we should get it through. Torbs is another one that's been on the edge a few times, with a lot of weight moving him around a bit more than he'd like.
These brakes are horrible. I just need to get up to speed and give them a good hard long brake just to try and get some of the dust or something off of them. They're just squealing like crazy. But they're working fine, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, coming down. Nice. Want to have a look at your rear diff? Yeah, looks good. Nice.
This was a section for me that I was a little bit trustier spotter. That was the part that we really thought was shit. Wasn't too bad at all. So yeah, we'll see how the defender goes.
As Nick guides me down, Ronnie's directing Torbs through behind us. The sun's really starting to heat things up this morning too, with the hottest day yet forecasted. Everyone's been going through the water and the tanks are starting to dry up. If it wasn't for Charlie doing drinks runs on his bike, we'd be out of water for sure.
Alright, now in my opinion this is the worst part. Downhill, 90-degree turn on an angle.
Underneath, all good underneath. Okay. Hold it.
Is it on a leaf hanger or the diff or?
No, we've got to prop it up. Actually, you're better off going back further. So go back a little bit.
Can I realign it and just put it further over?
We'll try this first. If that doesn't work, just going to gear it back even further. Okay, creep forward. Yep. Okay, now a bit more straight. Towards me, yep. Yep, now full lock.
Both my feet right now are numb from sitting on the clutch and brake for so long coming down the hill. So before I step out and fall flat on my face, I might wait for the blood to come back and then take on to the next section.
Just a little bit of back and straighten up. You're about to climb on the maxis and straighten up a little. Yeah, perfect. On that line, keep coming. Up on rocks. Nice. Keep coming. Yep. All the way. Nice. Back down.
Awesome track.
Bring it this way now. Nice. Easy.
It's going to be absolutely bloody amazing. I'm just looking forward to like 100 metres of track where we don't have to bloody pack up or pull rocks out of the way. It's slow going.
Back up front, and Nick's on the move again. This part of the track does start to open up a bit, and a few of us have cleared some of it the day before, while others were working in another area. Not that it feels like it's making much of a difference though. The big obstacles are still taking a lot of effort to create a path from nothing.
What's a sway bar ever done for me? I would actually be dead if I landed down there.
Put your winch on it to...
Yeah, let's do that right now. Might back up a bit.
Yeah. Well, we've got Nick to as far as we've built the track so far, and there's one big rock we can't quite tip over. It's on a bit of an angle, like a wedge into the ground. We're just going to see if we can winch it just to loosen it in the dirt. It's a long shot, but at this stage of the mission, using a winch to move a rock sounds a hell of a lot better than swinging a crowbar and lifting rocks by hand.
Didn't even look like moving. Who knows how big it is underground.
Still looks like it's going to be pretty fucking...
So, after another team debrief, it's back to moving hundreds of rocks to form some kind of ramp.
I heard a wise man say, put 40 rocks in it and then have a look.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of them jobbies.
After an hour of track building, Nick's back in the driver's seat to find out just how stable this roadwork's gonna be. Getting the convoy through is slow, and some sections we actually second guess whether we're even able to drive it. This is one of those spots. Big rocks right in the way, and a steep ledge to drive down. But by the time we're looking at it back in the driver's seat, things start to look a little bit more like a path. The hill has finally started to flatten out as we head along the ridge, and we even managed to grab second gear for the first time in days. We're not out yet though. We have a very steep descent ahead of us with no planned line. Oh, this is probably the worst here.
So the whole way to the mountain, we've been going uphill until today. The whole day has pretty much been downhill. Such a different mindset of thinking.
As each vehicle drives over the rocks we built up, the rocks move and shuffle around, which means by the time 5 of us have driven over it, it's starting to resemble somewhat of a drivable line.
Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. Yeah, looking good. Straight ahead there for a bit. A little bit more turn. Yeah, real nice. Easy, Nick, easy. Perfect.
Second gear low for the first time in days. That was amazing. A lot clearer now.
We got a couple more limbs to pull off, but it is definitely opening up, not as steep, so progress is a lot quicker at the moment. But it's hot. It's probably midday now. Oh, well and truly over 30 degrees. We'll want some cold water. My water tank's empty. Nick hasn't got much, so we need to get down today, that's for sure.
There, then down. Otherwise it's off camber everywhere down there.
don't care, just need a frosty something. Glass of something.
Oh, this is pretty well the last ascent, we hope. Everyone's getting pretty knackered. Sweat my ass off here. So with everyone else. Let's do it. Marco's out in front spotting.
Yep, just a rear to come. Nice.
Feeling like this is pretty well the bottom of the hill. 4 days later.
Oh, those breaks. That is super steep, and it is just about the end of the track as well. We've just got to wind our way through one last wooded area.
Yeah, keep coming. Yeah, from that angle we're going to towards the tree root.
Well, they do say sometimes coming down is much easier, but I don't know, eh?
Okay, now, keep that line up, cool?
Could be us done, boys. I mean, let's not say anything just yet, but we could
Might
be
be
out.
calling it earlier.
Yeah. Oh wow, what an adventure it has been. Hot every day. And we're climbing hills like back and forth with tools, moving rocks.
Well, the last little bit of clearing done. We are just about back on the track. Still got a little weaving section through some rocks here, but shouldn't be too bad considering what we've been through.
Well, there it is. We've crossed the fence. That's the official end of the track. What a hectic couple of days. Some tough wheeling, some good times, and some bloody hard work.
We don't know what the track's called. That comes later. But for now, what an epic 4-day adventure that was.
So there it is. With only about 5Ks travelled over the 4 days, a great group of lads all had one goal in mind, and that's to drive to the top of Ekes Peak and potentially open another tough track at Bendleby Ranges, one of South Australia's top tourism destinations.